Shalom. First off, we give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem HaKadosh, Yahweh being true name for the Father, Yahushai being named for his only begotten Son, who the world eagerly calls God, and Jesus Christ. I want to give double honors to our apostles, double honors to our elders of Great Millstone that taught us his truth and will well, and start destined to hope like person his truth and honesty and sincerity. This is Brother Yawasat, coming to you the lessons of the spirit power of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, and this lesson is coming to the spirit. My mother called me today and informed me of a couple of dreams she had, pretty heavy dreams, which I believe to the spirit were definitely visions. Okay, and it's just crazy, man, just to hear what she saw in her dream. But I want to start off by reading Acts 2:17. It says, "And it shall come to pass in the last days, saith Yahweh, I will pour out of my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, and your young men shall see visions, and your old men shall dream dreams." Okay, so prophesy means to speak something into existence. Okay, and when women get dreams like that, they're supposed to basically tell it unto the prophets, set the highways and hedges, and they'll basically break them down and interpret it and tell it to the congregation, which is the hopeful elect on 1/3 of the nation of Israel. We go out to prophesy at the highways and hedges and speak on these things. And just a testimony, she kind of gets some pretty heavy dreams, man. I remember one of the first dreams she told me about since being in the truth is she seen Yahweh or Yahushai's chariot, and she said there was a lot of symbols on the bottom of the chariot in the dream. And at the time, I was pretty new into the truth, and I was learning the Hebrew alphabet, and I had them written down in my notes. So she knows nothing about the Paleo Hebrew, or had never seen it. And I kid you not, when I opened up my notes and showed her the characters, she said those were the symbols I seen on the bottom of the ship. So she had a dream of the Hebrew alphabet written on the bottom of the chariot that was flying over us, and she called them symbols. And when I showed her the Paleo Hebrew alphabet, I kid you not, she said those were the symbols that she saw that was written on the chariot in her dream. How do you explain that? How's that possible? And then she had another vision, another dream, and she said in my dream, she said, I don't know, but somebody in this family, she said, is going to have, I saw a child coming. And I kid you not, probably within a year later, I ended up having another son. And what inspired this lesson today is the dream she told me that she had. I'm not sure when it took place, when she had the dream, but she explained it to me, so I kind of wrote it down so I wouldn't forget it, because I was pretty tired when she called me, just kind of rest and get over and kick a damn cold that I had. So I was kind of half asleep when she called me, so I knew Spirit told me, you need to write this down so you won't forget any part of it. But she had a dream, and she said that in her dream, basically she said she referred to it as like the Christians call it like the rapture. But she says in the dream, the Lord came back, and she said that in the dream he took all men, one from each family. Okay, she took one man from each family, and it says that the men that were not chosen were running around screaming and hollering. Was one of her dreams. And she said that she said she saw me at the time, Yahweh Shai was coming back. Well, she calls him, the first one was Jesus, but I guess I ran outside and I was standing and saying I'm ready. And she's like, well, I know you have to go, but she was concerned that I was leaving, but I was standing boldly and saying that I'm ready to go. And basically, I was one of the men that was taken, and I was boldly saying that I was ready to go. I was ready. And she said specifically, there were men that were called from each family, and men that were not chosen were running around screaming and hollering. And she says she had another dream that connected to it. It says there were tornadoes destroying those that were not chosen, and floods, and they were basically wrecking the place. So I was just kind of blown away a little bit because like I said, she has some pretty heavy visions or heavy dreams, and one in particular she dreamt about was seeing a child and having a son that was born within that year. But this one in particular was talking about the end times and deliverance. Okay. So she said that also the men were taken up in clouds. In clouds, man. So I have another precept that I want to bring out. So this is 1 Thessalonians 4:17. And when I sent this precept to her in text, she said, well, I don't understand the dream, but I need you to interpret it, because she kind of understands to a little bit of extent, what me and Akim do. We go out in the highways and hedges. She doesn't fully support, but she knows that, I prophesy. And so when she has dreams, she knows that I'm the one to call. But 1 Thessalonians 4:17, then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet Yahweh in the air, and so we ever be with Yahweh. Okay, so there's going to be another exodus that's going to take place, and this time, instead of the deliverance happening where we cross a sea and the sea split for us, this time the Lord's chariots are going to come and deliver us. Okay, which is why you see so many quote unquote UFO sightings. Those are the chariots of the Heavenly Father. Those are the angels. Okay, and they're in position, prepping themselves for the return of Yahushua, and they're going to execute judgment. Okay, they're going to actually be attacking Esau, Edom's wicked kingdoms and destroying them, and are also going to be picking us up. And that's another thing. She also mentioned in the dream, she said that the tornadoes and the destructions and floods, they didn't take place until after all those men got taken up. So it's just like, whoa, man. And that lines up right with Revelation, the 7th chapter, which I'll grab out as well. Okay, this is Revelation chapter 7, verse 1. It says, and after these things I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living God, and he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels, to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our God in their foreheads. So the Lord is literally holding back the destruction until he has sealed the hopeful elect. So the angels are literally commanded to not basically bring in the destruction of the earth until the elect have been sealed. And she mentioned in her dream, that the tornadoes and the floods and everything that was meant to destroy the earth were basically held back until those men were delivered. Okay? It says, "And I heard the number of them which were sealed, and there were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel." Those are going to be elect 144,000 men that are going to be beamed up, and they shall reign with Yahushua. And those same men, those are prophets that are out speaking at the highways and hedges, and they're going to be turned into hunters as well. So after deliverance, they'll be turned into hunters, and they'll be sent back into earth to, execute the Lord's judgment and to snatch up the wicked and put them into captivity. It says, "Of the tribe of Judah were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Reuben were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Gad were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Asher were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Naphtali were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Manasseh were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Simeon were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Levi were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Issachar were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Zebulun were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Joseph were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Benjamin were sealed 12,000. And after this, I beheld, and lo, a great multitude which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands, and cried with a loud voice, saying, Salvation to our God, which sitteth upon the throne, and unto the Lamb. Okay, so that's the elect. It's 144,000 men. All right. And because we've been scattered across the four corners of the earth, we could look like anybody. That's why it says of all nations, kindreds, and people and tongues. We could look like anybody, and we could be speaking any type of language right now because we're everywhere. We're scattered. Okay? But those men that get delivered of this 144,000, that number, those are the men that are in this truth, that's laboring and true believers of Yahushua and prophesying wherever they're at. And we're basically all over the world right now, man. And it's spiritual, man, because this is probably the most, this is the most that I've ever seen the number 144 being revealed to me in my everyday life, ever, period. Like yesterday and the day before, it's like every single time, like I looked at anything, I saw that number 144, 444, 4444, or 414. And a lot of brothers testify that's labored in this truth. See that number a lot, man. So, and she called me back, kind of out the blue, telling me this. I was talking to her. I can't remember what it was about. Oh, it was something that happened to her dog, and she was compelled to call me back. She said, I forgot to tell you that I need to tell you about this. She's like, you should. I had another heavy dream. So this lines up right along with Revelation, the 7th chapter, of what she saw. So we're in a time period where we're very, very close, man, to getting delivered. This is Joel 2, starting verse 28. It says, And it shall come to pass afterward that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and daughters shall prophesy, your old men shall dream dreams, your young men shall see visions. And also upon the servants and upon the handmaids in those days will I pour out my spirit, and I will show wonders in the heavens and in the earth, blood and fire and pillars of smoke. The sun shall be turned into darkness, and the moon into blood before the great and terrible day of Yahweh come. So that's another thing that's been happening. You've had massive fires that's been going on the earth. Okay, you have the rivers that have been turned to blood, and you've had on the earth, you had massive, massive earthquakes. In Thailand, that earthquake was scaled at 7.7, which is huge. And there are thousands that died behind that. And before that, there was all sorts of signs showing that was going to happen, because on the week of the Passover, you had a blood moon that took place in the Passover week. And then, there was after that, more of those doomsday fish been appearing, coming to the surface. What they're called oarfish. But those doomsday fish been showing up, and I did a couple lessons, bringing that information out. And anytime those fish appear, it's a sign that a massive earthquake is on the way. And after every blood moon in history, there's always been some type of earthquake that hit somewhere. And then on March 28th, there was a solar eclipse that took place. And it was visible on the northern hemisphere. And that same day, that earthquake struck. Okay? So it says, the sun shall be turned into darkness and the moon into blood before the great and terrible day of Yahweh comes. So on the Passover, you had a blood moon, and then you had an eclipse, and then an earthquake hits. And then, my mother has a vision like this. Lord's will, this could be the year, man. I really, really hope so. And it very well could be, the way things are going in the earth and the way these wars are turning. All that needs to take place is World War III to full-fledged hit, and the mark of the beast to be made basically mandatory and being pushed out by the government. Once those things take place, that's what ushers in that World War III is basically Jacob's trouble. And Yahweh Shai is going to return in the midst of all that. Okay? It says that verse 32, and it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of Yahweh shall be delivered. For in the Mount Zion and in Jerusalem shall be deliverance, as Yahweh hath said, and in the remnant whom Yahweh shall call. Okay, so Yahweh Shai is doing magnificent things in the earth, and they're showing signs of, Yahweh Shai's return. And he's going to get his revenge, man. His garments shall be dyed in blood, the scriptures say, from all the judgment and the death he's going to do. So that dream was pretty heavy, man. And Lord's will, a lot of you Akim hear about it, because that's heavy. It's real heavy. And, there's been a lot of heavy dreams that have been pushed out upon people right now. So I just wanted to give that quick testimony and spread that, that message. May it be, edifying and encouraging that, the Lord is coming for his elect, man. And it was very, encouraging for me personally, seeing myself in the dream. Lord's will, I'll be on that number, man. Because she specifically said that she saw me standing, and I was telling her that I'm ready, and pretty much got delivered, man. So Lord's will, we be of that number. All the brothers that's Akim that's doing these lessons and laboring. So with that, those lessons edifying. I'm going to close out and give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem HaKadash. Double honors for our apostles and elders, great millstone, Latasha's truth and will well, and salutations to hopeful light pushing this truth in all honesty and sincerity. Shalom.